What is up, guys, and welcome to another Let's Talk episode. This episode, I'm actually doing something a little different, and I'm not playing the game. I pre-recorded a couple of gameplays and decided I'm going to talk over it so I don't get distracted by the game. And today I actually wanted to talk about draft leagues. So right now, I am currently in the Saga League, and the VBL is doing its draft right now, which I am in. It is currently going very slow, but not exactly what I wanted to talk about. Draft leagues in general is something that a lot of people are not really fit for. I would put myself in that category because people who play Pokemon that don't enjoy the draft leagues are the people who play the games for fun, casual, and just to, like shiny hunt or whatnot. They're not into like the technical parts of the game and don't really care about the IVs, EVs, and movesets. This is me to an extent because I don't care about movesets, IVs, or EVs, which is pretty much the whole premise of draft leagues. However, I enjoy draft leagues in the fact that drafting is the part that I enjoy the most. It is fun. It is pretty much why I started my own draft league. And then you got the battles, which is the part that I'm least excited for, but I do try to at least try to win. But if you've seen any of my draft league battle videos, you will know that I am probably one of the worst draft league battlers, or just competitive battlers in general, because while I do have the movesets, the IVs, the EVs, they are from Smogon, and I don't exactly know the proper way to use Pokemon. The people I battle with, they do this because they are very in tune to the competitive world. They know a lot about competitive battling, and a couple of I want to call them friends, the draft draft leaguers that I have gotten to know quite a bit, especially like three of the the drafters. They are probably very, very skilled at competitive battling, even though they're actually young. They're actually younger. Two of them are younger. One of them is about the same age as me. They are very well in tuned in the competitive battling, and that just shows you that not everybody is a competitive battler, but different age groups can be competitive battlers. You have A Drive, who is, I think, in his 30s. I want to say 30s. And he does competitive battling like nobody's business. I actually watch him, and he is really good at the competitive battle format. And then you have just the casual players who try to do competitive battling, and it just does not work out. They start to not like it. They rage quit and then just drop the leagues. And then you have the middle ground, which I want to say is where I'm at, where I'm not exactly a competitive person, but or competitive battler, but I enjoy the whole league in of itself and the whole concept of it. So if you want to join draft leagues, or you want to create your own draft leagues, there are a few ways you can actually do this. So I'm gonna start with just wanting to join draft leagues. So there are tons of Pokemon community websites, apps, and whatnot. You can join those and then look around, see if anybody has any draft leagues going on, and if you can join them. If they're in mid-season, see if you can join the next season, and that is one way you can get your foot into the door with draft leagues. However, creating a draft league, that's a whole different monster all in itself. I didn't know how how hard it would be to create a draft league. Yeah. And while I knew I wanted a little bit of help because knowing that I'm not a competitive battler, I would need someone or a couple of people who would be able to help me create this league. I did not understand like the complexity of it. So I'm gonna run through just a small list of it, and here we go. First off, draft league name. This is probably the easiest out of everything, actually. So my draft league is the Saga Draft League. I don't remember exactly why it's the Saga Draft League. Me and the three other people that were helping me create the league, we came up with a couple of different names, and the Saga Draft League is what stuck with us, what sounded the best. So we kept it, and we are moving with it. Next is rules. Every draft league has rules that each member must abide by. If broken, depending on which rule was broken, it can be like, oh, it was an accident. You can either replay the battle, or if your opponent agrees to it, just let it be sit as be. And then there's other rules. If they're broken, you must redo the battles. So a good start would go to Smogon Draft League rules, and honestly, just pick a good portion of it. Definitely pick the ones that omit omni boosts and other things that would cause the battle just to not even be a battle, it just be a thrashing at that point without really anything to compensate for building up to the thrashing. And then as seasons go on, more rules will be added, rules will be taken away, rules will be bent, rules will be like omitted temporarily to see how it works and whatnot and so forth. So this is just one way draft leagues can go. Some draft leagues will stick to their rules and never change it, and it's just depending on who made the draft league, who is the leaders in the draft league, and how things are being put into effect. Next is the Pokemon draft tier lists. So this is where having people helping you make your draft league is going to come in very handy. So I had someone during season 1, which I don't remember if they're actually still here or not. I think they're not here anymore. Let me actually check the Discord. They are still in the Discord, but they are not part of the draft league because after season 1, they decided to stop being in the league because of real life complications. So I decided to keep him in the Discord if he ever wanted to ask questions or if you ever wanted to join. Anyways, and this person is one of the people who actually helped create the first tier list for the draft. And after about season 2, we got a different format for our draft tier list, and we went with that for season 3 and now season 4. And then so having someone who knows how drafts work and how draft tier lists should work is something that is probably going to be really useful. And let that person know straight up that you need them to help you make a draft tier list, so that way they don't feel like you're using them. They signed up for doing the draft tier list plus anything that was needed for the league. Before I get into like finding members, I'm gonna start with finding like helpers and leaders. So I've been talking about having people help you. One way you could actually try to find people to help you is go to a community, the Pokemon community website or app, which is actually what I did. I went to the Pokemon Amino app, and I put out a post saying I'm thinking about starting a draft league. Would anybody like to help? I had about 4 different people offer to help. One of them just disappeared and now is no longer in the Discord because they just completely disappeared. The other 3 are actually still in the Discord, which is actually NameTab, who, if you guys don't know the Saga League, he is one of my leaders and probably one of the best drafters in my league from season 1 to 2. I think, yeah. Got Echo, who is not part of the draft league but is still in the Discord because he drops in and out every once in a while, but does want to try and get back into the league if there is a season where he can actually come in. And then we have the other person who I've mentioned, which they changed their name quite often, so I don't remember their original name, but these 3 helped make the Saga League what it is. So find leaders. You don't have to have 3. You can have 1 leader or 5, 6, 7 leaders to help manage the draft league. Now finding members, it's going to be this kind of the same way as finding a leader. However, you're not asking for help for like to help create, make rules and whatnot. You're just asking people to participate in your league. And after you post it, I know for me, like 2 days later, I had quite a few people. I think like 4 or 5 different people want to join. So we had a pretty decent draft. But yeah, I think that's it. Just remember, if you're going to make a draft league, try not to overdo it, because everybody understands being the first season, it's going to have some bumps in the roads and not everything's going to be so perfect. So let things go as they are, evolve it throughout the seasons, and then once you have that set of rules and the draft tier list that works good, then that is a point where you're like, this draft league I feel is at a good point. Maybe we can change it a bit to see how things could alter it, and if it goes bad, we can go back to where it was at a good point and then try to alter it again. So yeah, to end it off, draft leagues are not for everybody, but everybody can have fun depending on how you play it. If you want to play it seriously, you're probably not going to have fun. If you're just playing it casually and just wanting to see how things play out, you're probably going to have more fun than if trying to play seriously. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you are in the world and when you're watching this. Bye.